Welcome back to the Farm Show, and we're coming to you from the Prairie Livestock Expo in Winnipeg at the Convention Center of the Victoria Inn. It's a one-day show, and as I talked to one person just a few minutes ago, he says, boy, this is a busy place. Yes, we have 140 exhibitors, and we've got all kinds of things going on, and the segment is brought to you by NetSec Communications, and right now, a very good friend of mine. We've worked together for quite a few years. Prairie Hog Country, the pork producing magazine across Western Canada to go to. And Laurie Brandley from Leduc, Alberta comes to this show every year if possible. Laurie, welcome here.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
So, Prairie Hog Country, I remember it when it started. So tell me, how did it start?
Well, that's rewinding the clock. That would be back into 1996, which is, I guess, almost 23 years ago. And a lady that I used to work with on another publication, or at a local media, I guess, wanted to start something new. And she wanted to start something that was based and focused entirely on the hog industry, that would kind of be something similar to something that we had done together in the past for the dairy industry. So she gave me a call one day, and she said, hey, I want to launch this, and I need your help. And I guess the rest we could say is history. And yeah, like I said, I'm very proud to say that at 23 years next year, and we still go to all the colonies and all the producers in Western Canada 6 times a year.
So, at one time, you were not the chief cook and bottle washer. You did become that.
Yes, I guess, yes, in the long way. Susan and I started it together, and then, yes, I did actually buy it outright from Susan in 2003. So now I get to, I guess, dot the I's and cross the T's and sign the checks.
So, I've been in the business a long time, and now you have been too. We've seen a lot of changes, and I've always marveled at how you've been able to go with the flow and with the changes, but hasn't always been easy, has it?
No, you're right, Harry. You're right. There definitely has been highs and lows over the industry and over the years. I mean, we've seen, those of us that have been around have seen the highest of highs and lowest of lows. And you do have to adapt. You do have to adapt. Being based on advertising revenue to cover production costs and salaries for writers like yourself, you do have to sometimes tweak things a little bit, because the first thing that sometimes does get cut when times are tough are the advertising budget. So you have to make sure that you're still having a very good product that people want to get their information out there with. So yes, sometimes we've had to change things along the way, but we think it's working, because again, next year will be 23 years, so we're very proud of that.
So I know what the key focus is when I write for it, but what is it, in your words, the key focus of your publication?
My mini infomercial, I'd say, it's your direct connection to the Western Canadian hog industry, written with a grassroots style. Something that everybody can understand, everybody can comprehend, with information and news that's very important to them, very time sensitive, that's maybe not done in a format of all charts and graphs, that's maybe a little bit more interesting, a little bit more informative, interactive as much as a print media can be, but just, again, to try and keep them informed and interested in what's happening out there.
I know, and I get a chance to send in articles, and you don't print everything, but boy, you sure do a great job of printing as much as you possibly can, and I appreciate that. And you know, and I told somebody just a few minutes ago, when we talked about Prairie Hog Country, I said, you know, when I write in the Prairie Hog Country, I always find out that people actually read the articles from end to end.
Yes, thank you, and that's one of the best compliments that we can have, is when people say that they do read it from cover to cover, and it is in all the barn offices. And I couldn't do this without a phenomenal writing team like yourself. Harry, you've been with me since day one in '96. There's some others that have been with me from day one. We've had some that have come and gone along the way, but it's we couldn't do it without you. It is very much a team effort, and we're only as good as the stories. So I do thank you as well.
Good. Thank you very much. That's Laurie Brandley, and what a privilege to be able to interview her on a show that we are doing. And yes, it's been a real good ride. I hope that ride continues. But this wraps up this particular segment and show at Prairie Livestock and Expo. And of course, the sponsor to this one is NetSec Communications. And we'll be back with segment 3 in a while.